Welcome to SVG-TV News for Monday, October 23rd, 2017. I am Jennifer Richardson with the details. Director of the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Community College, Nigel Scott, is calling on educators to come up with ways to tackle a deficiency in numeracy skills among students here. Scott, who is currently out of state, had his address read this morning by Deputy Director Eula Adams at the opening of a 3-day math conference being held here by the Ministry of Education in collaboration with the Organization of American States, the Caribbean Examination Council, the University of the West Indies.
Today, it gives me great pleasure to welcome you to this conference where the focus will be on developing numeracy skills from grades 5 to 8. There is no doubt that numeracy continues to be a challenge in our society and the world at large. It is my hope that this conference will serve as another of the interventions in our country to critically examine the challenge and arrive at some real solutions. I am particularly pleased that there is a follow-up element planned, as so often attendees come to conferences and go away untouched. May your focus be in sync with the mandate of the SVG-TV, holistic development of learners and quality education.
In her remarks, Chief Education Officer Beverly Neptune questioned if learning has become too redundant to help children have fun while they learn.
Essentially, to make better choices, we need to be numerate. Sounds very basic and practical to me. Yet, given the ongoing debate about our less than acceptable performance in mathematics across the region, we must continue to examine the factors which contribute to the decline in our passes. Could it be that once you stop teaching primary school math, you forget what fun there is in learning, doing and teaching math? I'm not a mathematics teacher, so I can't answer that. Our students have digital devices. Therefore, the technologies of play must become technologies of learning. In addition, I challenge our maths teacher to become very comfortable with all areas of the syllabus.
Representative of the Organization of Caribbean States International Teachers Education Network, Maria De Leon, commended the educators for being willing participants. She also outlined that there is a web page where teachers can network and gain more knowledge.
We're fostering a quality education through teachers by granting technical assistance, capacity building, and knowledge exchange. We have different activities. We have activities for policymakers working specifically with teacher policy, and also free activities for teachers. All of our activities are free of charge for teachers of the region. And considering that the OAS is composed mostly of English and Spanish-speaking states, we're hoping in the future to work also with French because of Haiti. But all of our activities are available in both languages. So if there's also some Spanish teachers here, we also welcome them to participate in our Spanish activities.
And head of the math panel and principal of the Barley Secondary School, Kenneth Holder, says teachers here need to be more creative in teaching mathematics and make the subject matter more practical for learning. Holder was at the time delivering the feature address at the opening of a 3-day math conference.
Half of this, or 1/3 of this. 1/2 of this, or 1/3 of this. So which really is larger, 1/3 or 1/2? This calls for the establishment of context in learning. Mathematics sense making called for contextual learning. We need context in which to learn, because 1/2 by itself does not carry much meaning. 1/3 by itself does not carry meaning. And sad to say, many of our textbooks Many of our textbooks are written like that, and us as teachers will lift them wholesale and go into the classroom. We need to stop, rethink, get sense out of the maths before we could have our students making sense of the teaching.
Holder says teachers also need to be more contextual in their teaching, noting that it is important for mathematics to make sense to students.
If ever you want to think about maths and problem solving, think Polya. And he has a large volume of research material. And Polya is telling us, we as teachers, we have a great opportunity. But if we misuse that opportunity by drilling our students in routine and mundane tasks, we are killing their interests, we are hampering their creativity. The flip side to that is that we need to challenge their curiosity so that they are able to be creative in their learning and make sense out of their mathematical journey. And so I'm asking us to understand that there's a role for problem solving as we seek to establish mathematics context.
Perennial larceny is not an issue only for the police and the Ministry of Agriculture, but one which affects the entire nation. That's the view expressed by Deputy Senior Superintendent of the Jamaica Constabulary Force, Kevin Francis, as he gave remarks at a seminar on Friday at the NIS conference room geared towards alleviating the issue of perennial larceny here. In using a fictional story where agricultural theft by a mouse lead to the deaths of a farmer and her livestock, Francis encouraged the participants to consider the issue as one of critical importance to food security and survival.
Always affected, whether or not perennial larceny have anything to do with you. Perennial larceny, farming, agriculture, food security, it impacts everybody. Whether you're classified as a goat, I'm not calling anybody goat now, you know. The reference is what part of society you fall. You will be impacted on food security, on food and everything else that has to do with food. Let us not say perennial larceny is not our problem. Police will deal with that. They say that here in St. Vincent? They do it? Let us not say it's the Ministry of Agriculture's problem. Let us not say it's FAO's problem or ECA's problem. Perennial larceny is everybody's business.
This country's Chief Agricultural Officer, Ashley Kane, said despite excellent legislation to deal with the issue, there has been no meaningful impact thanks to a social dynamic which he calls a trade union of vagabondry, adding that if more persons give their knowledge on the theft of produce, the issue can be addressed.
If we can only get them to tell and to share their knowledge with us, Michael, we would be a far way on the road towards fixing this problem. But we say in local parlance, today for you, tomorrow for me. So I ain't telling nobody. I see you, but I ain't telling nobody. And to me, that is the challenge we have, that social dimension, where it becomes extremely difficult, except you catch the man in the act and you can carry him to a station or otherwise, or have other kinds of evidence to show that he did it. It becomes a very difficult task of making a case, having it sustained in the court. And this would only go away, Mr. Dalton, I think, when we are so disgusted with it that we say we're not leaving any room for thief man and all those kinds of things.
Also giving remarks was the technical specialist of the Inter-American Institute for Cooperation on Agriculture, IECA, Michael Dalton, who stated that the seminar is a timely one as the sector faces a multitude of issues which affect the food security of the nation and the region by extension.
Stealing from all and sundry and affecting the ability of the agricultural sector to right itself in the face of the many challenges we have suffered in recent years. from climate change, market and trade issues, and the entry of exotic diseases, to name but a few. The losses from such criminal enterprise has resulted in some farmers giving up entirely in some instances, while others have reduced cultivated acreage, changed crop type to less lucrative crops, given up on livestock production, and reduced herd size. The level of such criminal enterprise seems to be increasing all the time, with persons moving from stealing small amounts for their sustenance to large quantities for sale to buyers, who at least in some instances must be aware of the source of the goods is at best questionable. We have a problem which needs to be addressed as a matter of urgency and priority.
Opposition Member of Parliament for East Kingston, Annie Eustace, believes more can be done to improve tourism sites throughout this country. Eustace, who was speaking on radio recently, said he was deeply concerned that not only the actual sites, but the roads leading to some of these sites are in disrepair. He is also of the view that the Ministry of Tourism is being complacent in its efforts to keep the expected influx of visitors.
I heard nothing which says, well, there's an opportunity, but we have to go further than what we have normally been doing.
Yeah.
We have to review our tourism sites. There was discussion sometime, and we proposed that you have to be able to get people to maybe to the Chateaubriand Wharf and have tours to the Soufrière. Different things were recommended over the last couple of years.
And fix the road to Montreal Garden.
Exactly. All these things can improve our tourism product, and what we should be doing, not simply taking advantage of the fact that people have had hurricane damage.
Yeah.
We must improve our product.
I agree with you.
And Kingston has to clean up. You're not going to get anywhere with that. That's why you take advantage of this opportunity. You have to improve what you have.
Precisely.
To be able to hold on to these extra people you may get this year. Otherwise you won't get them another time. Or it'll be much harder to get them once you have the tourism product.
The East Kingston MP also made an appeal for Capital Kingston to get a clean-up.
Everything seems to be based on the fact that we are likely to get more people because these are the places of damage. I would rather I recognize that, but I like the focus to be what all we could do for our tourism product in this coming year. That we have those people staying when they come to us, not going back to the islands that they went to before.
Yep.
And that includes the cruise ship. So there are things like the cleaning up of Kingston and so on, which must be undertaken now in this year, so that we don't fall back to the position we were before. And I'm concerned about that approach to the matter. We should take the opportunity to revise what we are doing in our tourism product during this year, while taking advantage of the windfall that comes to us because we didn't have a storm. At the same time, to make sure that when these places are repaired, the people just don't go back away from us.
And abandon us.
Yes.
Local police are investigating the circumstances surrounding the drowning of Denzel Lorraine, 49-year-old unemployed of Owea, which occurred at Owea on Saturday, October 21st. According to reports, Lorraine, a known drug addict, went into the water just off the point at the fisheries complex around 5:30 p.m. on Saturday, where he encountered difficulties. Persons reported seeing him in the water struggling, and those who went to his assistance were unable to rescue him as he disappeared under the water. The body has not yet been recovered. With an expected increase in arrivals to SVG for the Christmas season, more must be done to increase the participation of the business community in lighting up Capital Kingston. So says Minister of Tourism, Sports and Culture, Cecil Mackey, as he spoke at a meeting on Saturday at the Peace Memorial Hall, hosted by the National 9 Mornings Committee and various stakeholders to chart the way forward for the festival. Mackey stated that it is important to have Kingston lit and beautified for the season, and gave some suggestions as to how companies may wish to get involved.
To suggest that we first of all, ensure the 2 gateways into capital city Kingston. And you could do it in your areas as well. You can approach the business sector and see how you can get some presence in terms of the entry points into your own communities. But for capital Kingston, I want to suggest that the Juicy area, we ensure that that area, that's the gateway from the windward side, that area is lit and decorated. And from the leeward side, that the area at the OT car park, that area, we ensure that area is lit and beautified. And I want to suggest that we can probably have the discussion with OT himself for the leeward side of the country, and for the windward side of the country, the bank and Digicel and KFC, that we focus on those 3 as the gateway from the windward side.
Mackey also suggested partnering with the St. Vincent Electricity Services Limited, VINLEC, to get more homeowners outfitting their dwellings with lights for the season. Getting Kingston, that's with lights for the season.
We had made this suggestion previously. If VINLEC looks at the bills from December, November, October of the year, they will see where the increase would come from December. And if they're able to give the homeowner that relief, or the business place that relief, then I'm sure that you would see more homeowners being interested in doing the light up. But I want to take it further. I want to suggest that the committee writes to the minister, and the minister takes the request to cabinet, so that it could very well be a policy decision that VINLEC will have to work along with us. But I'm sure that we might be able to persuade them to work directly with us and not have to go through that route.
9 Mornings is a Christian festival, and the music being played at 9 Mornings events across the country should reflect this fact. That's according to Deputy Director of the National 9 Mornings Committee, Lennox Bowman, as he addressed Saturday's meeting. Bowman said over the years, there has been a tendency for DJs to play anything other than Christmas music at these events, adding that such practices do not aid in promoting the 9 Mornings Festival, which is a Christian Christmas festival.
Music. We will talk about it all the time, and I mean, you don't get tired of me talking about it. But this is a religious Christian festival, and our music is Christmas music. We know there's a tendency for people to just play one Christmas song, and then for the rest of the activity you go in your other kind of genres of music. To me, it does not help to promote the Christmas. It does not help to promote the Christmas feeling. So we want us this year, when we employ our DJs, try to speak to them and let them know that what we're building is a festival, and the festival is Christmas. So there are lots of Christmas music around which could be played, local, regional, whatever, and we prefer if those are played.
Bowman also encouraged communities taking part in the festival to ensure that the food on sale during their activities are local, thus providing visitors and returning nationals a taste of its ancient culture.
We must continue to keep it really local. So the foods and things that we sell, I don't like to go to a 9 Mornings gathering, and I go to nearly all every month during the period, and not see local food. You know, so I know I go up in Curry, I get me rosemary and me congolal and me vegetable. I know when I go to anyway, Stubbs, I get the food, you know, different places I get food. But I'm not saying you're not doing it, but please continue to do it, because when our visitors come from overseas, or even when our returning nationals come home, we want to show them, you know, what we're about, and the focus on the 9 Mornings.
Bowman also took the opportunity to thank the business community for their continued support over the years, and expressed a desire to continue working with such entities and others to build the festival.
I know funding is a problem. Funding will always be, money will always be a difficulty, because money is a finite resource. You don't have an endless pit of money. But we try our best, and I think we have been blessed to have an organization with meaning all of us who have been able to command the respect, love, and the integrity focus of our business sector. So we are very happy for whatever our business sector gives to us. At this point in time, I want to make a call as well for them to support not just the 9 Mornings, the National 9 Mornings Committee, but the various committees in the communities as well. It doesn't matter what you give, 2 strings of lights, whatever, support, you come around, all of that is going to be very, very helpful.